And welcome back to the Vintage Telephones channel. Today I'm going to show you a couple of telephones from Latvia. These are both made by a company called VEF, and they operated out of Latvia, Riga, Latvia to be precise. We have on the left a model TA68, and the model on the right is the TA72. Both of these phones were used well into the 1980s. The TA68, of course, being slightly older model, coming first, and the TA72, of course, coming out in 1972. So they're pretty standard telephones, and we got some interesting colors here, the orange and the purple. Start with the TA68. So obviously introduced in 1968 and used and manufactured well into the 1980s. This is I don't know what model this one is. This is a 1976. This is a 1976 model, and really it's a very angular telephone, as you can see. A lot of sharp edges here. Very say brutalist, I would say. Very mid-century. It's like compared to the TA611, I have one up here. Let me show you. Oops. Just to compare. Very angular compared to the TA611. I'll show you the handset here. And sadly, a lot of these phones, when you see them listed on eBay, Etsy, or other websites for secondhand sites, a lot of these are damaged, and they do tend to be pretty lightweight, and the plastic is not the best. It's not the high quality ABS plastic we're used to. But since they're so lightweight, and the feet really, at least for this one's fine, but a lot of them harden and they slide around the table. What's cool about these earlier type dials here is that this one doesn't have it, but the earlier ones had the numbers in the center. And this piece here actually is stationary while you spin the dial. You can't really tell. If you see, look at those two cracks right there. If I spin the dial, it stays. And really what it is this part kind of floats above the finger wheel, because the finger wheel goes all the way to the center. And there's a slight gap, and that allows it to stay stationary. Kind of a neat feature on these phones. There's the handset again. And the plungers, you can see the plungers match the color of the phone. Sometimes the later ones though they were clear plastic. There's a place where you could put your phone number, card on the bottom. That was very common for these Soviet telephones to have them right at the bottom. And yeah, and both type of dials here have the spring mounted. I'll show you it on this one. You can see it's the same on the TA68, but this little triangular piece actually holds the spring down and keeps it from popping out. But the spring is mounted, or the tension is within the finger wheel, and it's held on by this part here. This middle piece is held down by a hex nut on the other side, and that little notch right there is where part of the spring goes, and the hook for the other side of the spring is right there. So both of these phones, and of course this centerpiece comes off just like the TA611's German telephones. They turn that way, but both of these are like that. So that's the TA68. The things I did with this phone is I put in a newer type of cord here, and the original cord was no good, so this was a spare cord I found or what would fit in a G-style handset of a Western Electric, and it fits like a glove, and it's probably a lot better quality than the originals. Now moving on to the TA72, this one has the original handset cord, and it's in rather good shape. This one is in a cool purple color. I don't know if they call it a special name or anything. I really don't think they did. But this is what we're going to call purple. And this is, I would say, maybe an updated version of the TA68. And really, its configuration is basically 90 degrees, and this phone's a little bit more elongated, so the ringer's going to be on this side, and the, if I know correctly, yep, the ringer's going to be on this side, the two bells, that thing likes to fall out, and then the PC board, and then back here is where, of course, the switch is on there. And these were introduced a little later, 1972. And if we look on the bottom, this is from, let's see, I can't remember where everything is. Oh, here we go. Here's a good example, 1986. So this is a much later, obviously, than the, this is 1976. This was made 10 years later. And they did phase out those dial centers that are stationary and put in this little white piece here that comes off just like a dial center found on a VEF 611, VEF 791. The dial here, it's about the same. And here's the handset. These are well preserved. Very lucky to have these in the collection. And this is the carry handle right here. It just kind of goes over like that. It's still a very interesting angular design. Show it right here. Spin it. There's that. And we'll show you the bottom again. And those adjusters are all the same you found on the TA68s, TA72s. And really you need to use like a screwdriver to adjust those. They're not like a traditional knob. And these say made in USSR. And there's the numbers there in letters. There's what the bells are. We're gonna take this out because it likes to fall out. Anyway, yeah. So both of these phones were very, very common. They had quite an array of colors. You had your muted tones like gray, cream, and I think black too. And then you had your more interesting colors like these, orange and purple. I used to have a light blue one, and I sold that earlier this year. They had teal. Trying to think. Oh, maroon, and they had red, and I think that's it. But they had some interesting colors, and of course, you know, the creams and the grays were pretty much the most common of that. So yeah, so these are both good examples of the VEF telephones from Riga, Latvia. And these were, of course, used all throughout the Soviet Union at the time. So next what we'll do is we will do the demonstrations. And at the end I will have a little slideshow of all the components on the inside. So next we will get out the machine and we will be right back. Alright, and as always, I will pick up the handset and give you some dial tone. Alright, and as I speak into the handset, you see that the transmitter is working as indicated by the light that changes as I speak. Give it a couple pulses. Got a 2, and we will dial. And lastly, we will give the phone a ring. Alright, so next we will demonstrate the TA72. We will be right back. Alright, dial tone. As you can see, the light. Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A couple pulses. Alright. Next we will dial. And lastly, the ringer. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention is that these phones had the option of a neon light be added right here. Obviously this one does not have that, but that's where the light would be if it had the light in there. So it'd be right next to the number card, and of course, obviously it doesn't. And next will be the slideshow of all the insides and components. Hope you enjoyed this, and thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time.